Na 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 na. What boy? Yeah. What boy? What boy? The sun is hot. The breeze is slow. I need a ride. Where do I go? Ride go. Yeah. That's the name. Island roads will never feel the same. Tap the app. Just one click. Hopping fast. It's real quick. Ride go. Where do you wanna go? To the beach, to the street, let the island flow. Ride go. The good vibe show, fastest growing ride. Everybody know. Ride go. Where do you wanna go? To the beach, to the street, let the island flow. Ride go. Let the good vibe show, fastest growing ride. Everybody know.
Where do you want to go?
Are you a progressive young leader, a proactive emerging executive, a rising professional? Then you need appropriate cover for your vehicle. Introducing the Pro Motor Plan from Beacon. Car insurance that includes free loss of use, windscreen cover up to $3,500, free special perils, free accident forgiveness. Get Beacon's Pro Motor Plan today. Don't procrastinate. Call Beacon today at 440-4447 or visit beacongrenada.com.
Right along live, welcome to the ride. Welcome to Monday. Monday's on the ride. Yeah. I miss being around with you guys on Monday. I think it was a week and some inside our studio, because we're still in our makeshift studio, right? Our main studio in New York. We're in Grenada for a bit. So last week I had some problems with internet. And although I tried, the video was just sticking. So it really didn't make sense. So I said, you know what? Let me make sure that the thing fixed up properly. Come back and give you guys some proper show instead of having some problems and cutoffs and irregularities. All right, so that's why you didn't see me last week. But I'm here back now. Yes, Lydia, how you doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello. Yes. Somebody said, are you live? Yes, I'm live, like in the flesh. It's Monday, 16th March. And yeah, boy, I got a show for you guys today. So a lot been happening, guys. I've been giving some updates on, of course, the war. Sad, guys, because it's expected that gas prices might go through the roof. So we already saw in New York and in the US and other places that the price is already skyrocketing. And Tiga, I believe, the Prime Minister, made an announcement that he would subsidize the cost of gas. But rest assured, when gas price go up, guys, everything goes up. Everything goes up. Your grocery go up. Bus fare, of course, is going to go up. Everything will be affected. And last week I wanted to, bring in a panel so we could talk about, what to expect and just talk about generally what's going on in the world. So we didn't get to do that last week, but I promise you this week we're going to convene a panel to talk about the impact on this war, especially our Caribbean folks, how it's going to impact us. Because they say, when they catch a cold in the US, we catch pneumonia in the Caribbean. And as all indication, it's going to be a tough one, right? So brace yourself and bang your belly for that one. Larry Charles, how you doing? Yeah. Also, guys, last week we did a poll. I think it was Thursday. We did a poll, and a lot of you guys participated. And I'm thinking that I'm going to do a next one on Thursday. But I want you guys to tell me who you think we should put head to head. All right, so you guys send me some information. Who do you want to see head to head? All right, in our next poll. Nice? Okay. I don't want to talk too much because we're already running late. I said I will start the program at 7 o'clock. So today, guys, I wanted to have this conversation because a lot of talk have been going back and forth. And my next guest, two of my next guests, both of them, they have a victory lap. Well, they said that they have victory laps to take on the program today, right? You already know one. Cam Jones is going to be joining me today because a lot have been going on, and unless you've been hiding under a rock, you heard about the lifting of the fishing ban. So Grenada now could export fish to the US. So Cam Jones, of course, wanted to come and give information on that because we did have a program prior to this where we spoke about the fishing ban and how it affected Grenada, the fishermen, and looking for other sources, other markets and all that stuff. So we had a whole debate program. Yeah, I don't know if you guys remembered it. So Cam is joining us today. And let me bring in Cam. You see, Cam is right there. And there's of course a mystery guest that you guys can't see yet, but it's important we brought in that mystery guest because when we last had this conversation, the mystery guest had a lot to say, and he's back to make some further clarification and a few "I told you so." Because earlier in the week he hit me up with some information and he said, "Junior, I told you so. Everything that I told you is coming to pass," right? So he also wants to come in and clarify some of the things on the program today. So first, let's start with Cam. Cam, how you doing, my brother?
Hey, Junior, I'm fine, thanks. I'm happy to be here as usual. And I want to know who is that mystery guest.
Yes, well, we'll find out soon. We'll find out sooner than later, I guess. Yes. So, Kev, how you been? How you been? Before we go to the mystery, how you been, man?
Well, I can't complain, you know. At the end of the day, I think we are on the right path. We have a good team and government here in Grenada, and I'm happy for my children and children. I think Grenada will be like a Singapore in not too long from now because we are on that path. We have a stable government. We have a focused leader, an intelligent leader. And that is what you want with a team that's working around the clock for the people. And my slogan is, the NDC cares.
Right. Okay. All right, Kim. Well, let me also say before I bring on the mystery guest, we also tried to get another guest on the program. I really wanted to have 3 on the panel, but I spoke to that other guest and he was unavailable to make it today. Hopefully he's going to come on later down in the week. So we're going to introduce our mystery guest on the program. Kim, I don't sure you know who it is. I didn't really tell you. But I had to bring him on anyway. So guys, let's welcome our mystery guest on the program today.
Yes, Johnny! You guys thought it was a Sandman?
Oh, Lord.
Well, Junior, you're in trouble because I know your
be
audience is going to be pissed.
Oh, boy.
I want you to understand, I'm a friend of Grenada. So it means that I'm a friend of NDC, I'm a friend of NNP, and of course, I'm a friend of the GSDP, the Grenada Social Democratic Party, that is actually hidden the St. George Northeast constituency by storm. If I was Ron Redhead, I would be concerned and alarmed. And I've noticed the concern because I realized recently he's scurrying all over the place trying to do some projects. So,
okay. So, that being said, I want to start with a breaking news that we published on the website. It said Grenada regained access to U.S. seafood market after updating the marine mammal protection. And the story is very lengthy, but in essence, Grenada could now export fish back to the U.S. Now, the last time we had this conversation, Perry, you remember that conversation?
Absolutely. How could I forget?
Right. What was your position on that, if you remember?
Well, first and foremost, I would like to applaud the current administration in having done the right thing to secure the removal of that import ban by the United States. Wow, it's a good thing to celebrate. But I don't want to prematurely celebrate. And the reason why, I will explain. First and foremost, I want you to understand that the suppliers in the United States, while there was a fishing ban, would not have been sitting by idly twiddling their thumbs. They themselves would have been looking for alternative markets, because you understand the tuna business is a competitive business and they supply to high-end restaurants. So as I said, they'd have been looking for alternative markets themselves, just like we would have been looking for alternative markets to export to. So guess what would have happened? The people who would have filled the void in supplying them, they would have said to them, look, I used to get $30 a pound from Grenada. Okay, that's what I paid for it. But you want to get in, you want to be the new one supplying us. Guess what? You got to give me a little cut or something like that. You got to break it down a little. So they would have said, look, give me for $25 a pound. Right? And then now that this fishing ban has been removed, Grenada now would be trying to get back into the market and reestablish their contacts with their suppliers. And let me tell you something, 3 months to stand down in any business is a very long time, especially when you're dealing with the sort of volume that you're dealing with in the United States, and you're dealing again with high-end restaurants. So what I believe is going to happen is that the suppliers in the United States are going to say to Grenada, oh, you want to get back in? Well, guess what? While you were out, I had a guy giving me for $25 a pound. What do you think you can give me? Can you do 20? So you see what I'm saying? In some respects, I believe because of the pause, Grenada would be disadvantaged in a sense.
Okay. All right, Kim, your take on I respond to Perry and also respond to the breaking news of the removal of the fishing ban.
Right. So, Junior, my position the last time around, just as you asked Perry the question, my position was very clear. The fishing ban had nothing to do with Venezuela and the action taken by the United States there and Grenada's position. Also, it had nothing to do with Cuba and, the actions taken by the United States. So my position still remains. I'm happy, like Perry, that Grenada got the ban lifted. And it did not just happen by accident. It happened because the government took action. There are those who love to complain, grind, and groan, but the government is a government that believes in results. So yes, we have a problem, but we have to do X, do Y, we're going to get to work. So that must be mentioned because remember, NOAA informed the government of Grenada since 2016. The NNP was in power in 2016. They say, hey, you need to update your laws. You need to have the kind of equipment to monitor, the fishers or the vessels who going out there and fish, the tuna, the long lines and so on for, I think, marine mammals.
Yeah, marine mammals.
There are consequences and so on. So they informed them since that period, since 2016, the NNP administration. They did nothing. It went on as far as COVID-19 period because time was catching up on them and they went and they negotiated, which is good. Nothing is wrong with that. They negotiated. They got an extension. The NNP got an extension of 2 years, right? So it brought us all the way up to 2022. Then the election came as they claim, and they were not able to do anything. So the NNP did nothing where that is concerned. The NDC, however, took some time and they say, hey, we got to pass that legislation, update it, amend the legislation. And they did that. They went into the parliament, I think, the end of 2025, I think December 2025. They amended the legislation. So they passed the Fisheries Amendment Act 2025, which prohibits the intentional harm of marine mammals. Then they launched a digital vessel monitoring pilot project to improve data collection, right, and traceability. They want to make sure that no vessel is going out there and catch marine mammals. Then they introduced an observer and monitoring framework to track interactions between fishing gears and species and that kind of thing, whales, dolphins, and so on. So they did stuff within that time. And in the legislation, they published, they say, hey, if you catch that thing intentionally, this is the penalty. And so the government of Grenada did work, and that must be commended. Then they reapplied. They did not grind and moan and complain as the NNP out there moaning, complaining, grinding every single day. They did what they're supposed to do. And they say to the nation, they say, look, we reapplied. We did what NOAA asked of us, or the United States asked of us. And we believe very soon in the first quarter, they would review and say yay or nay. We got the results. They said, yes, you can now continue. You can start back, if you want to put it that way, exporting fish to the United States of America, which is great, fantastic. But what I love is the fact that the government did not just say, well, we reapplied to the United States. We're going to just sit and wait for a response. They decided to look for additional markets. Mm-hmm. They were able to get Guyana, I think 1,000 pounds, 100,000 pounds to Guyana. That's new. Then they were able to get Trinidad, I think 20,000 pounds every fortnight, right? They were able to also get Canada. I just can't remember the quota for Canada. Mm-hmm. They were able to get China with the assistance of the ambassador, Grenada's ambassador to China. They were able to get Japan. So it is good for Grenada and it's good for the fishers because it's their livelihood. And I want to commend the leadership of Honorable Lennox Andrews and the entire ministry, the Blue Economy, Ministry of Agriculture, and we can go on and on. They worked to make sure that we are at this point, and we have to commend them. But I want to go further to applaud the association. I think it's the Longline Fishers Association. Olivier, there was this gentleman, he's a Rasta, who spoke, but they were positive. While the NNP was trying to spin this and complain and grind and groan, they were positive to say, look, let's look at what can come out of this. We can come out better from this crisis. And I think I want to give them thumbs up. And here we are. I'm really happy, and I think the Grenadian people are happy.
Right, yeah. So again, this conversation is going to be a positive conversation. I see a lot of people there pushing that narrative. We're not here for no drama, no negativity. This is a positive. I think that is a positive. I wanted to go back on, because of course Perry had his position on there. Perry, do you still believe that the position taken by the US was as a result of Grenada's involvement and Grenada, as you say, putting themselves up to be a mediator between Venezuela and the United States, hence the reason why the action was taken? Do you still believe that?
Well, first, let me respond to, there was a mouthful said by Kim. He sort of took a victory lap for something that governments all around the world, or any government, would have had to do. It's not like you could escape from that. You had an obligation to do what was instructed to do to get this fishing ban removed, no matter how long it would have taken you. So if it was the NNP government, if it was the GSDP government, they would have all had to do the same thing and follow the procedures. Okay? Right. So, you got to slow down. You know, I gave you like a good half an hour to talk.
I know, Perry, we're having a mature conversation. I'm not going to interrupt you if I'm just saying here, based on what you just said, remember, the NNP was in power since 2016 when this list of what government must do, and they failed to do it. So
I'll address that. I'll also address that. I'm about to address that.
You're actually saying here that any government had to do this and they must do it and so on, but NNP didn't do it, so it doesn't add up.
Well, of course, I am sure. I mean, they explained away exactly what occurred and why they didn't address that situation in time. But the thing about it, you have to understand, and this is clear, a ban was not imposed on the NNP's watch. That's for sure. So whether they had inaction and didn't do what they were supposed to do, guess what? They were able to evade a ban being imposed upon them and upon the government of the time. However, quite to the contrary, a ban was imposed on the NDC administration, on their watch. So the thing about it, and usually when, it comes down to a ban and, it comes down to such a harsh, serious action, is because these people are at their wits' end. They're like, look, I gave you a few warning. I told you what needs to be done, and it's not being done. So now I have to elevate the punishment, so to speak. So let's get that clear. The ban was not imposed on NNP's watch. It was imposed on NDC's watch to begin with. And then when NNP started to moan and groan, as you said, obviously, any Grenadian who understands the implications of a fishing ban. Now you got to understand the human implications here. Okay, these are people with families who are getting a consistent income every month or every couple of weeks or whatever to take care of themselves, their families, and their children. So when you have a fishing ban imposed on them, that is just heartbreaking, okay? In terms of the economics, you see what I'm saying? Because these people probably have mortgages, they have their bills to pay. So yeah, ask yourself, what is going to happen to these people in that 3-4 months? There are some people, obviously, who could not have sit by idly when this ban was imposed. So guess what they would have done? Some of them would have found alternative jobs, alternative incomes. And guess what? You know what that does? Some of these people now are comfortable in what they're doing and able to pay their bills. So in some respects, they might be discouraged or would have been discouraged to get back into fishing. That is some of the fallout of the imposition of that ban. And as I said, as I just spoke about, to make these connections, to reconnect, this is not like putting in a plug and pulling out the plug. To reconnect all these bureaucracies and paperwork and suppliers and exporters and importers, that's not going to happen overnight. It's not like we're going to wake up tomorrow and say, we're exporting tomorrow. It does not work like that. And as a matter of fact, you may not be aware, but I'm very familiar with a lot of people that are involved in this business, every aspect of it. Some of them are my friends. Some of these people, we sat on school benches together. Okay? So, and they will let me know when actual shipping starts taking place. So I don't want us to take a premature victory lap. And we can't get into the blame game. As I have said before, you've inherited many projects from the NNP. You inherited the port project, the airport project. You did it without a hitch. Bam, you took credit for it. You inherited the Molyneux project. You did it. You had a little hiccups, but then you eventually got to a good stage. You took credit for it. So when you inherit a situation, one situation, where you have to put a little bit of work in, you can't cry and moan. You just got to get into the trenches, get the work done. And when you get the work done, you can't just applaud yourself on the block and say, yeah, we did it, and expect that you are going to get some sort of cookie for something that you should have done.
Okay.
And let me address, because you did ask me a question, Junior. Mm-hmm. And again, what a coincidence, right? A couple of weeks ago, Miss Claudette Joseph came on television and said, well, guess what? The Cuban Medical Brigade program, the contract ended since in 2023. She didn't tell us that then. But all of a sudden, she comes now, a couple of weeks ago, and tell us, look, well, yeah, we scrapped the Cuban Brigade program. And then 2 weeks after, we see a ban has been lifted. So is that a coincidence? My friend, Kem, I know you have a bit of experience in politics, and I know probably it might be a little local, what I would say is a Christian combi politics, but in the world of international politics, what happens in the world of international negotiation? There is something called leverage, and governments use their leverage all the time to achieve their aims and objectives. So I still stand by, and I still believe that all of this that happened, in some respects, was as a result of positions taken by the NDC administration. Okay? Because the United States could have dragged their feet on lifting that ban to put a little pressure on Grenada. But as I said, what a coincidence. Cancellation of the Cuban Brigade, and 2 weeks later, all of a sudden, the ban is lifted.
Right. But then you said it was as a result of Grenada mingling and trying to be an interlocutor with the Venezuelan situation.
Well, I believe that had a role to play also. I mean, just think about it, Deb Jr. Okay? If you have a conflict with somebody in Ladi, okay? You have a conflict with somebody in Ladi.
Yeah, I know we went over that.
And somebody else comes and get involved and takes the side of the other person that you have that conflict with. What do you think your relationship is going to be with that person?
Yeah, but the notice that's posted on NOAA's website explicitly said, and I could go into details, it had nothing really to do with other than a regulation, the regulation of the marine mammal, right? It said here that the National Fishery Marine Service NMFS determined that Grenada fishery regulation was not comparable to those required under the Marine Mammal Protection Act.
Now I understand why. I read that too. I'm very familiar with the reason why. But I'm just saying to you, do you think they're going to come and say, oh, well, we did pressure you a little, or we didn't pressure you a little? Do you even think that Miss Claudette Joseph is going to come and say to you, oh, well, guess what? Behind the scenes, we received a little pressure and we kind of buckled to the pressure. These are things that governments don't come and be straightforward with their citizens about. These are things that are done behind the scenes. These are things that are done in secret meetings, bro.
Yeah, but suspecting that's what it is, without having facts, without having the facts, we have to rely on what they said. So we could suspect and say probably the cow jumped over the moon, but that probably just how we felt personally about it. It doesn't make it true. But
I think we have reasonable, again, just basic logic, reason, critical thinking, and common sense would dictate that if you have someone that you perceive as a friend, and that person or person does not act in your best interest, then guess what? I think you're going to return the favor. You may not want to act in their best interest. I mean, that makes sense, right?
Right.
Government use leverage all the time to get what they want achieved.
Can jump in here. The government is saying, the notice is saying specifically, and that's the notice that's posted on the NOAA's website, right? And I know that was a big, strong talking point, that the fishing ban, it came as a disadvantage to a lot of fishermen. But I even heard people celebrating the fact that the fishing ban is now back and enacted, which is supposed to be good for the fishermen. So help me put this into perspective, Kim, and respond to Perry's comment.
Yeah, but Junior, it's clear that the government at the time in 2016 were given a list of what they must do to make sure that Grenada can continue exporting fish to the United States of America. And they didn't do it. They did not fall in line. They did not amend the legislation. They did not set up, monitoring tools or equipment They did not put any monitoring framework, observer and monitoring framework in place. So the NNP, from that point, did not do what was required. The NDC came in and they did what was required, right? And as a result, the ban was lifted. And that's great. But you will always find people, Junior, who, because they want power, they wish bad, they want everything bad to happen. Because we have this kind of mentality that if you're opposition, you have to oppose. But we're in 2026. There are things that you can applaud. You can say, hey, it's good, because it's good for Grenada. And if things are bad, you could talk about that. And in fact, people would give you a better review. They would see you differently to say, nah, boy, that man or that party, they're objective, because they applaud when it's good, and when it's bad, they bash, they come down hard on government. But what we have seen in the last 3 years, going on to 4 years, is just negative, 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 oppose, 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 complain, 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 complain. So something as good as the ban being lifted, the opposition, who was talking all the while, should be the first, like Perry did, even if Perry, was against certain things and had certain position and so on. When he started the program tonight, at least he acknowledged that, look,
Absolutely.
kudos, thumbs up. The government did a fantastic job. They get to work. They got this thing right. And we applaud that. The fishers, they can go back to their business, and you applaud what's good. But there are still folks who are so angry because it's like you're starving the beast now. The beast can't get anything to talk about on the platform, because it was a kind of talking point every time to bash about this ban. It is time for us to be mature and say, hey, the government did the work and the fishers are happy and Grenada is back in the US market. And look, it may take some while or some time to get the right price. As Perry said, look, you may not get $30, you may get 28, you may get 26, but at least we get back the market that we all were kind of not happy with losing. So I think the mature thing to do is to come out and applaud and say, hey, this is good. And I think people are going to see them differently. In fact, I was looking for Adrian Joseph, I think his name is, because he was the guy leading the charge on, I think they had a consultation or something like that, right? At least Adrian Joseph to come out and say, hey, I am happy for the fishers. I'm happy for the country. The ban has been lifted. Let's move forward. Let's support the fishers. Let's see how they can come back to that point where they can get the amount of money that they normally would get, or maybe even more. But I ain't see nothing from them.
Well, I agree with you, Kem. I agree with you. I believe, they may not publicly say, but I believe each and every Grenadian on some level would be happy that this fishing ban was lifted. And let's be genuine here, okay? Because you know and I know, you've been in this politics thing for a while. You know and I know, and the both parties are guilty of that they will both seek opportunity to score political points. Okay? It's the same thing that happened when the NNP administration was in charge. For crying out loud, let's not forget. The amount of fire that was launched at the NNP administration. So this is nothing new. This is nothing strange. And a matter of fact, the fire concerning that was launched at the NDC administration concerning this fishing ban could have come from a place of genuine concern. You see what I'm saying? And you know what they say? If you're in the kitchen and you can't take the heat, then you got to exit. So the whole, going after the administration for the fishing ban because it happened on their watch, that is not surprising. The whole taking a little jab here and there at the administration when there was a ban in place, that is not surprising. But I honestly believe, even if Mr. Joseph may not have actually said that he applauded the effort, I know within his heart I believe that he is happy, and every Grenadian is happy. Nobody wants to see Grenada go down. I think most people want to see Grenada go up. You understand? And again, I want to applaud the NDC for the effort and the work done. But that does not mean that you cannot criticize or you cannot say certain things when things are not going the right way. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, that's the way I see. But I think it's also a question of trust issues. Okay? There's a lot of things that are happening, that are being done, that is creating a climate of distrust with the NDC. Okay? I mean, you know a couple of things that I'm talking about. Recently, we had a cement melee. Again, now we have a groundbreaking for Polaris, and you know how I feel about Polaris. Okay? So all these things are creating a sense of distrust, and that is why in some respects you may see people are paranoid a bit, and it's questioning everything, and it's questioning the motives of the NDC government. And especially, as I said, with that Polaris, you know, they're talking about groundbreaking, and I just wanted to touch a little bit on that, because I want the people of Grenada, in some respects, I see myself as a defender of the people of Grenada. And I see there's a much talked about groundbreaking on the 27th of March or something like that. And I saw they did a little bit of clearing and grubbing. Okay. But I want the people of Grenada to actually demand, okay, from the administration, okay, that for spending $22 million thus far, okay, they should have at least a plot plan available for the site. They should have at least a base map survey available for the site. They should have at least, okay, they're talking about clearing and grubbing and groundbreaking. They should have at least some civil site plans showing drainage and grading. They should also have at least, at minimum, some sort of overall general preliminary plans site-wide.
Right.
After all, they said they hired Perkins and Wills.
We're moving into Polaris, and I think it's important that we talk about Polaris because, of course, they in fact, they have the groundbreaking on the 27th. But that's a topic we ain't reached yet. Right?
Okay, fine. We can hold on to it.
Junior, maybe we can invite Perry to come to the consultation on Wednesday, right? The 18th, Wednesday the 18th, this week, they have a consultation for the same project, Polaris, at the West Hall Secondary School. So maybe it's a good opportunity, Perry, for you to take a plane and come down and go to that.
Don't worry, my team will be there.
And ask, putting in questions.
They will be there.
Right. So that we can have a closure on this. We all are happy that a fishing ban is lifted. We all are very happy that we have different markets. I saw the sadness on the fisher folk face. Some of them I know very, very well. When that was taken away, they spoke out loudly that it would affect their lives and livelihood and their families. So I'm happy. So I think that everyone should come together, both political parties, whether for or against, opposition or whatever, should come out and state that it is good for the country. But what we're seeing is not that. We're seeing the opposition being opposition, still finding some way to criticize that, which I don't see anything to criticize about. We all should be happy that this happened. So that's why I'm saying, let's close it up. It's a good thing for Grenada. It's a good thing for the fisher folks. It's a good thing that we explore new markets. So we have new markets and existing market. You make me feel like I want to go and fish too.
I thought about the same thing. But you're saying to me, Junior, you're saying that there are actual people who are upset or criticizing this? I mean, on what grounds? Where are they doing this?
Yeah, no, Kim, I even saw you posted something. Yeah, and look, Perry, he's in the United States, and I'm happy for him. I know he's a very busy person. I don't know if he spends time following social media and fall in all them different posts by pundits, zygotes, and sycophants of the NNP. I don't know if he does that. But
you know, I don't like the word zygotes, right?
Well, I mean, it's just an infertile embryo, useless embryo that taking up space. I mean, for me, I believe Grenadians everywhere at this point should be happy, but there are Grenadians.
We all agree on that.
Yeah, there are Grenadians who are not happy because
they're probably in the minority camp.
Let me tell you why. You see, my brother, there is this belief by those who want power. If it goes bad, it benefits them. It means that they're going to get an easy waltz into power. They're going to get back into power easy if it's bad. But if it's good, then they see it as a difficult task of getting in. So as a result, once something like that happens, they're angry, they're pissed, they're blue. How the hell we can get this thing at this point in time? You know, we were talking about this thing on the campaign trail, and we on every Wednesday or so on our platform, and we beating the thing up, and people getting angry and riled up and so on. You see, my brother, again, when the beast cannot be fed, those things has happened.
But again, Kem, as I said, that is not unique to the NNP. I mean, the NDC did the same thing when the NNP was in power. So these are political games. But again, I don't believe that the mass of people are doing this sort of stuff. You said pundits. You have pundits who are not happy but the fishing ban was removed.
Yeah, but you're not happy with Polaris, the new teaching hospital facility. I
didn't say I was not happy. I told you what I would like to see specifically. Who says I'm not happy?
So you're happy that the project Polaris is getting off the ground?
Listen, listen to me carefully. I don't get prematurely excited. It kind of takes a bit to get me excited, okay? So I'm not a premature guy. So what I'm saying, I like to see facts. I'm an evidence-based guy.
But all the while you were saying you believe and you think and you went as far as inside of Adrian Hart, and you said that in his heart.
That's a different thing. Belief, that's emotion. It's very difficult to gauge someone's emotion. That's a whole different thing. But I'm saying we have physical evidence, Kem. We can have physical evidence. Now there was much talk about they hired Perkins and Wills. So if you listen, and I'll just say it this way. I am very familiar with the process when it comes to these sort of things. Okay? So if you said you spent $22 million, I want to see, again, I'm going to say it again, and the Grenadian people should demand, okay? I'm actually looking out for the interests of the Grenadian people so that they are not duped, they are not bamboozled, and this is not a photo op, or this is not some sort of something to try to ride to the campaign trail. So again, the Grenadian people should demand to see a plot plan, a concept plan, preliminary drawings, site-wide, a base map, survey base map. Because that's a large site. So even if they're using technology, it will take a minute to survey the whole site. Okay, so these are things that are fundamental to the start of any project. Okay, we've done tons and tons of them. So nobody's going to fool us about this.
So Perry, on Wednesday, there's a good opportunity. You said your team
will be there. Our team will be there. We're going to ask the pertinent questions.
Yes.
Right. Okay. 718-701-5720, guys, is our number. We're taking calls live on the WhatsApp and also on the direct line. Again, we spoke about the fishing ban. I think the general population is very happy that the fishing ban has been removed. And now we'll talk about Polaris because I think that's important. But before we talk about Polaris in the full extent, I want to talk about what happened today, right? We saw Jude Bartholomew, who is the president of the GUT, the Grenada Union of Teachers. He was on Beyond the Headlines earlier today.
To the point.
To the point, sorry. to the point. Sorry, beyond the headlines going on right now. And this is what he said. Let's watch it and comment on the other side.
Benefit here. I want to put on record to the nation, between the time that the new administration, the NDC administration, came into power under the Honorable Deacon Mitchell, that's between 2023 to 2025, in a 3-year, 4-year period, TAMCC lecturers and workers at TAMCC almost got a 46% salary increases. So the 2022 TAMCC lecturers and the workers at TAMCC did not get any salary increase for about 12 years. And then we came in and we had that fight. So they got 23% in 2023, 2022, when the new NDC administration came into power. And after that, then we had a 13% salary increase for the period 2023 to 2025. And under this new arrangement again, they got a 10% increase from 26 to 28. So you could say half of that time in a short instance and in a short amount of time for this new administration, the lecturers at TAMCC and other workers, PW workers, when you add it up together, the substantive, almost half of the increase in salary or the pay came during the NDC administration, and we give thanks. Now,
he was speaking about, in addition, he was speaking about the increase. Now, the teachers of Grenada will see a salary increase of 4% in 2026, 4% in 2027, and 5% in 2028. Perry, do you think that this is a big achievement? What's your take on that decision, that increase?
Well, of course. I mean, any increase for teachers. I did a stint in high school back in Grenada a very long time ago as a teacher. So I definitely applaud any increase in salaries for teachers. I understand the job. The job is a very difficult job. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, again, that's something to applaud. But again, you have to understand the nature of the politics in Grenada. I mean, they're all socialist Marxists, right? So socialist Marxists and leftists will take care of each other. You know, you have to take care of lobby groups when you get into power, right? I mean, they're all chanting, you know, against the last administration, did as much as they could to try to sabotage it. So I'm not surprised that now that the NDC came in, that they'll be willing to reward them. That's understandable. That's part of the political game. So good for them. Kudos to the NDC for taking care of their guys, you know, in the union. You know, union is
the guys meaning who? The union?
No, kudos to them for taking care of the teachers. But I'm saying, listen, you have to understand, Kem has been in politics for a while. He may understand it even better than any one of us. The unions, okay, is pretty much hijacked by socialist Marxist leftists, okay? And it's kind of sad because the actual guy who started and brought to the attention of Grenadian people the importance of unions was Sir Eric Matthew Gary, and he was no socialist Marxist. But as usual is the case, these socialist Marxists, they never like to build or start anything from scratch. So once Sir Eric Matthew Gary introduced the unions in Grenada, guess what? The socialist Marxists hijacked the union. So it's no surprise that a center-left party like the NDC will take care of the socialist Marxist leftists in the union who supported them. It's no surprise there.
But this is not impacting. I mean, it's good for the union, yes.
Oh, absolutely, it makes the union look good.
For the teachers, at the end of the day, it's the teachers.
And again, I applaud the effort. Ultimately, I'm happy for the teachers, but I'm saying to you politically, you understand it. You live in the United States. You understand lobbying groups. You understand how the political dynamic. You understand that the center-left party is usually backed by a socialist Marxist center-left union. You heard me talk about, you know, the old union bully that I kind of gave some flack for talking. I said a nonsense in the U.S.-Venezuela spat. I know these people. I know how they operate. So it's no mystery that the center-left party, like the NDC, will take care of their socialist Marxist comrades in the union. Remember, if the union, who is actually lobbying on behalf of their teachers and their members, gets praise and gets credit, it looks good. If they get a little increase for their people, it makes them look good. And guess what? they might charge a little more on the union dues. So this is not surprising. This is part of the political game. So I'm not surprised, you know. But again, ultimately, it's a very good thing for the teachers, because I'm all for teachers. You always hear me praise my teachers, you know, and we were lucky. I had some of the best teachers on the planet.
Right. Kem, what's your take?
Well, Junior, I would ask you to play for me what Jude said, describing the situation under the NNP. I think he said it best.
Was that the different clip?
Yes, what existed.
Okay.
Never forget the difficult moment that we had facing with pension, the challenges that we had to march on the street up and down for really and truly what was rightfully ours. And today we can look back and say, thank God that pension was restored, but it started somewhere. And the Grenada Union of Teachers, our teachers did come out in full force, probably with other unions too, and face the wrath of the previous administration and what we have gone through. And not only that, but for the 4% during that time, the COVID period, we had to march the street. We remember all the candlelight processions and all the different things that we face. We faced a situation where our salaries, teachers, were docked. This was the most difficult Christmas period for a lot of our workers, our teachers. You know, tears come out in person's eyes, not only affecting teachers, but their families, young teachers, young families, and such. A dull Christmas, but we did it with purpose, we did it with pride, with integrity, and such. We were steadfast as the Grenada Union of Teachers. And today we can reap the harvest. We had docked salary, our salaries were docked. We had work to rule, all the different things during that difficult period and such. But we say thank God under what we see now in the progression. God has really, I would want to say, just as the Israelites and God has redeemed and provide for the people of Israel, so God has done for us and provide a new leader, a new administration that came in at that period and really and truly granted us our pension. Yes, the code did it, pay the pension under the Honorable Deacon Mitchell and the NDC administration. Came in one time such and pay the dock salary for teachers, and so restore confidence and everything, and more or less set a stable environment and workplace. We saw also sports went back and all the different activities in school. So this is why we say and we express gratitude to the previous administration, because they too have, you know, provided for teachers. But we will never ever forget that difficult moment and what we face. And today we can say, even as the new president of the Grenada Union of Teachers at that time, police came for me and I was, you know, detained in St. David's police station. But today we were steadfast as a young leader, and today we see the whole nation looking back, and every sector, even the police who they had to do their work, but privately someone saying to us, you know, we have to do our work, but we understand the fight because we are fighting too. We had to get our pension too. And today when you walk the street, you feel proud to see even the police officers, they rejoice at the type of pension that they get, you know. And sometimes I smile and I say, well, if they get the pension as police too, why don't they detain the pension and bring it up in St. David's police station, which I was brought in at that particular time? But it makes you stronger and better. As a leader, union work is not easy. So I just want to go back, as we say, we will never forget that moment, and for teachers and for working class people to be wise and to see what we have gone through and to see how our new administration, which I will say is more labor friendly, friendlier to us, friendlier to teachers, to the working class people. We may not get everything that we want at the same time, but we can see a different feeling, a different vibes, a different trend that we don't really have to go through. That doesn't take away our ability to have an industrial action when it deems necessary under any administration, even under this administration. But at least the working environment, the industrial climate, we have a government now that is pro-labor.
Right. So
I think we get an idea.
We get the gist of what he's saying. A lot of praise.
Can I ask you a question? Kem, can I ask you a question? Well, what do you say this guy's name was?
Jude.
Jude what?
Bartholomew.
Jude Bartholomew. Is Jude Bartholomew the propaganda minister for the NDC administration?
No. What the gentleman is doing is giving credit where credit is due.
This guy gives Joseph Goebbels a serious rub.
Well, I'm happy that you're uncomfortable with the facts.
No, I'm not uncomfortable with the facts. But the guy used this platform pretty much, okay, as a political campaign speech. But what you notice also, the gentleman also, towards the end, he realized that he was kind of like going overboard, with his politically charged speech. So what did he do? He said, well, let me throw in a little something there to give a little credit to the NNP.
Yeah, hold on, that's a question. You ever saw Jude spoke before?
Yeah, I saw him a couple of times.
But he also a guy that speaks his mind, right? Like he don't play. Like he's a kind of tell it as it is kind of guy. I've heard him speak.
Yeah.
Against the.
But as I said, if I listen to that, and you should listen to that, you heard him. You sounded like like the chief propaganda minister for the NDC government. I mean, if I was Deacon, I'll definitely think about giving that guy a job.
No, but he has a job. He doesn't want a job. He has a job. He's employed.
Well, but he can make some additional. Trust me, he can make some additional bucks. Doing
What is important here, Junior? I think the viewers and listeners listening to this goodly gentleman for the last minute or two, they learn a lot from him. I think you can say, well, Kem Jones and Perry, you could go home now, because he did a fantastic job to say, hey, do not forget what we've been through, what we experienced. He spoke there about the sports back. Do you know that for 4 years or so, Perry, we didn't have intercolor, we didn't have sports and extracurricular activities and so on in this country,
Kem, I understand, because I understand it was all sabotage. Okay, I understand how sabotage worked.
Yeah, but it was
political sabotage. That's that was part of the whole political game.
That was not sabotage. It was because the NNP administration decided to dock the salaries of teachers who went out and demonstrated for what was actually promised in that MOU to them, their increase and their pension. So, look,
very familiar with that.
That's teachers and public officers and working people across the country. They're enjoying a very, very good period. We remember the TAMCC workers, as he mentioned, they were beating drums, blowing bubuzelas, fighting for what was right.
Well, they have to be rewarded. I mean, listen, you got to, again, we understand the politics, okay? We understand the leftist, socialist, Marxist politics. Let's not be pretentious about it.
What a rubbish, man. These are
no. You always claim that you've been in politics for a very long time. So we know the game. I know the game. You know the game.
That's not a game. This is reality.
It was the game, Ken. It was part of the game. Okay? It was part of the game. Listen, I know personally one of the ladies who sued.
Hold on. 1 second. Let's take a quick stop right there. When we have both of you guys talking, we really don't learn anything. Perry, you saying that it's a game, but what we want to show is this is teachers. These are people in our society. These are friends. These are neighbors. It's not far-fetched. Everybody know a teacher. So to see them as leftists, Marxists, whatever you call them.
No, I'm talking about the union people now. Okay? Yeah, but I'm talking about the union people.
But the major beneficiary are the teachers. They are getting an increase in their salary at the end of the day.
No, I applauded the increase in salary, but what I'm saying to you,
I think he's making a mistake.
These things are politicized. These are political games. The union, these guys play these political games.
And I think you're getting it confused. They are teachers. Jude is a teacher. If you look at the executive of the union, they're all teachers. This is the Grenada Union of Teachers. This is not. No, but you're confusing yourself, because 1 minute you say,
how am I confusing myself?
Teachers. You're happy for the teachers, but they are teachers.
Absolutely happy for the teachers.
You're attacking the leadership of the union as though they're non-teachers.
No, because I understand, you understand, I understand, you may not admit it, but we both understand the game. You had a whole bunch of people from civil society, and I know them personally. As a matter of fact, the young lady who sued, for her salary being docked, the young lady and I sat down on bench, school bench together. So I know these people, okay? So what I'm saying, look at civil society. Civil society was on fire during the last administration. Nothing couldn't pass. Everything they attacked. Well, let me ask you this question. Where is civil society now? And I know these people. They're all socialist Marxists. I know their mentality. I know them personally.
You playing hopscotch, you know. You jumping like a jumping jack.
No, it's not jumping. Again, listen to me carefully. No, they're all related. I said that to illustrate to you, Kem, that I understand the political games that these different groups play. Okay? I understand the political game. And you too. You may not want to admit it, but that's
just get an increase and
no, I am happy for them. I am happy for them. But what I'm saying, this gentleman could have just come and said, oh, look, we're happy. We're a little more confident. This gentleman gave a propaganda speech just to describe a 4%, 5% increase over the couple of years. This guy went into a propaganda speech about how happy, oh yeah, Deacon administration, yeah, how happy we are. I mean, come on, save us. Save us the propaganda.
Okay. Okay, hold on. We got a call on. Let's take this call real quick. Caller, you live? Where you calling us from?
So I'm calling out from St. Andrews Southwest constituency.
St. Andrews Southwest constituency, go right ahead.
Yes. Well, Junior, I know you because you're from Ladig. You're a Ladig man. I know Mr. Kem Jones, you know. He always advocating for the division of NDC, and he does also put them on the path. That's one thing I could say about him. Listen to Mr. Perry. I don't know him much, but I just want to say to Mr. Perry, you know, Grenadians has suffered a lot under the NNP administration. Teachers have suffered a lot. And even if they had industrial action at that time when NNP was there, right, it would not have gone anyway. I don't know if they send the Right Honorable Prime Minister at the time to mash up Grenada. But right now, Grenada is in a better place. And I'm speaking from a young boy's perspective. I'm speaking from the future generation of Grenada. Grenada was not going down a good road. There is a lot of things that this present administration has to get right? But there's also a lot of things that they are doing right? Because if we go to put the years that NNP has been there against the years that NDC has been there, I am telling you, a lot of things has been changed. A lot of Grenadians right now are seeing.
When you say a lot of things, sir, what do you mean a lot of things? Can you be specific? What is a lot of things?
Hey, Perry, he can't hear you because it's going to the WhatsApp, but you will respond to him. Go ahead, caller.
Okay. Yes. No, but I hope you could hear me. You know, that would have been nice.
You know, to all the young people in Grenada who are seeing, I usually do a program. And when we go on the streets and ask people questions, some of them still, they are afraid to speak. They are afraid to speak because of the kind of victimization that's been going on in Grenada, right? And we have to tell them, no, you will not be victimized. Speak out, and they're still afraid. So I'm telling you, I believe the NDC administration has provided some form of understanding to the people. They have made that playing field so level that everybody in Grenada, I've never heard about a program, Junior, where people can call into the Prime Minister and ask the Prime Minister direct question, not staged. And he will answer this question. Any questions he cannot answer, he will tell them, he will answer it next time. We never had that in Grenada. And I want to thank the Right Honorable Deacon Mitchell for the kind of leadership that he is bringing to Grenada. And I don't care what anybody say, this next election is all about leadership. And he is leading by example. Thank you very much.
Right, thank you so much, caller. Thank you so much, caller. I recognize the voice there. Sound like Norris. Perry, you were saying in response
to... I'm kind of hurt and disappointed that a gentleman knows you from Ladig. And an old lobby man like me, you don't even know me. It breaks my heart. But he did say he was younger, so that's okay. But I understand. Obviously, this gentleman, you know, he's definitely a hardcore supporter of the NDC, and that's okay. It's not a problem. But he said a lot, but he didn't say much because he said, "Oh, there was a lot." And again, I'm an evidence-based numbers guy, you know. So I like people to tell me, okay, there's a lot of things being done, and these things are A, B, C, and D. You see what I'm saying? because an NNP person gonna come and say, oh, a lot of things were done during the NNP administration. Because you know what I realized, and he talks about victimization, right? And he says, oh, there's people are still afraid to talk. I find that hard to believe. Why would people be afraid to speak under the current administration if there is no sense of intimidation? Why are they afraid to speak now? Says people are afraid to speak because of past intimidation. To me, that doesn't add up. If they were afraid to speak because of past intimidation, guess what? Nobody's going to stop them from speaking in this current environment where, quote unquote, their party is in power. So I call that hogwash. Okay? We're not falling for that.
Yeah.
Because, but there are a lot of people who are saying that quite to the contrary. People are saying that they're afraid to speak now. The climate, you know, is terrifying. Okay? People are saying the divisiveness is just a next level. And a lot of people are intimate. I have people are even afraid on social media. They're afraid to comment. They will look at your videos and they'll never comment because they're afraid that their name or something, you know, may happen. And you know, let's talk about programs. As he talked about programs implemented here and there.
Well, before we go into the program, could we just take a quick call before we go into the program?
Oh, sure. I'll explain that.
Thanks, Paul. Caller, like where you're calling us from. You're holding for quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, again, right along. Good night.
Good night. Where are you calling us from, caller?
I'm calling from Carriacou.
Carriacou. Okay, go ahead, Carriacou.
Yes. I'll listen to the program. Good night, Brother Kim and Brother Perry. Now, every time Brother Perry comes on this program, it's like, again, I always say, Brother Perry need to take some time off and come to Grenada and see what's happening. I don't know when last Brother Perry.
You're not gonna hear me. Tell him I was there in Christmas. For Christmas holiday.
It's happening, and everything is relative in perspective. You talk about social Marxism and so on, using this term and so on. But what about relative perspective? You cannot be living in America and have the authority or the audacity to tell us that things are not happening in our society where we are living. You know what I'm saying? We are seeing changes, we are seeing development, we are seeing a country moving forward, but yet you living outside of a state and giving your verdict based on perception. Because relative perspective is a serious thing. Because somebody who is living in Iran and somebody who is living in Grenada will have two different point of view about what is happening when it comes to the war. So you being in America and we being in Grenada, we are experiencing a government that is caring, understanding, and is working for teachers and unions throughout the state has been one of the most, the unionized state has been, the unions throughout the state has been the most peaceful since this administration coming into office. The economy is growing, development everywhere, and yet you over there saying that nothing is happening. That's crazy and mind-blowing to me.
I did not say that.
I have to say.
Okay. All right, thank you, caller. We'll take this next call right back to back. We have another call on the line. Caller, live, where are you calling us from? Your background, turn on your background music, audio.
Yeah, I'll turn it on, Grenada.
Okay, go ahead, Grenada.
Right. Perry, well, let me tell you something, Junior. A program a few weeks ago, I heard Ken Jones and Perry was on with you. And I was getting real upset because you know why? You let Perry take the whole program for himself. And we're waiting to hear Ken Jones' response and his comments, and we could hardly get. And Perry just going and going and going. When the audio was lost, Ken get a chance to speak. When Perry come back, same thing again, I take over the program. And I wonder what's going on.
Well, quite the opposite. When I finished, some of the supporters of Perry were saying I didn't give him enough.
Exactly.
Okay. Occupy the whole program.
Okay.
No. I listen to Perry, and I'm wondering if Perry really have Grenadian, anything about Grenada in him. He wasn't living here when the foolishness was going on under Dr. Mitchell. Dr. Mitchell, he was operating as if he was a communist. When Dr. Mitchell interfered with national security, taking high-ranking police officers who he believed doesn't support him and send them to manage places like the bus terminal and the cruise ship terminal and that kind of thing. It was a blatant dictatorship that was going on in Grenada. If you say something as a government worker and that reached Dr. Mitchell and he imprisoned you, gone. Look the amount of workers, teachers, public servants, you name it. Dr. Mitchell have them as if they're in Hollywood, acting. 18, 19 years. These workers cannot get permanent, only acting. He wasn't concerned about nobody. And mind you, this NNP party, if Perry want to make NDC leftist, NNP, who make that party? The CIA. They take the 5 or 6 party from Grenada after the invasion, bring them in Union Island and form the NNP. Okay? And we know who is the leader of the NNP. Because Maurice Bishop told us he is a CIA agent. He was demonstrating, the only person demonstrating in front of the United Nations in New York against the revolution. Okay? It is the CIA party that we up against. You give them how much term in office? 23 and a half years in office. Huh? Look, this government come in less than 4 years and they do much more than what they do in 23 and a half years. Look, check the leader, the past leader. He served 40 years in his constituency and he do nothing to develop it. Nothing. Check from Cherry Hill to Perseverance onto Grantham and see what he do as to say, oh, for all these years he did what he called everything he was doing, the poor and vulnerable, and he left all of them there. Jones could give you the amount of pit hole latrine. He left the poor and vulnerable in when he lost the election. He had done nothing to lift the people out of that. That is what you, Perry, want Grenada to go back to. But I know you don't love Grenada. And I'm wondering what kind of mind you have. We're talking the loudest, as if you're most educated in all, but you have to be yourself. We live in Grenada. We understand the situation. Keep yourself quiet where they're in Thank you very much.
Okay, Carla, we can't say the man don't love Grenada. You're not in his heart, and you can't say because he don't live in Grenada, he don't love Grenada. So that's a statement I don't want to endorse because I live in New York a long time too, but I don't mean I don't love Grenada. So I wanted to just make that statement. Perry?
Well, as usual, there's some people, that's not unique to him. There's a lot of people, okay, who believe that they have some divine right and Grenada belongs to them. But I want them to know that don't matter where we are, okay, we could be in Alaska. Grenada belongs to all of we, okay? So some of you might have stayed back, but you guys don't know what we did while we were far. You guys don't know what we did before we left. And you guys definitely don't know what our plans are for the future, okay? So not because you stayed there and in some respects you didn't have to go through the challenges that we had to go through, that makes you a lover of Grenada. A matter of fact, and that's one thing I want to applaud Mr. Peter David that he had said. And he said that the further you go from Grenada, the more patriotic you become. And sometimes I would like the gentleman to know there's an old saying that the plane, okay, the flat plane is clearer from the mountain top. Somebody who is on the mountain top looking down at the plane, the flat plane, can see things better sometimes than somebody who is intermingling on the flat plane, okay? So we have a bird's eye view of sorts, okay? So we're looking in, and in some respects, your judgment might be blinded by the things around you, but we're taking a bird's eye view. And I think it was irresponsible that you should question, not even knowing me, question my love for Grenada. And I think it was also a little bit reckless that you would talk about such a serious organization. I wouldn't call the organization name. I wouldn't call the organization name. But I think it was a little bit reckless that you talk about such a serious organization and associate certain individuals with that serious organization. That is not an organization to play with, to even mention, or to recklessly talk about.
Mm-hmm. All right. Kem?
Well, one thing I learned on talk radio or even going as a guest on a show is not to, go after any caller or attack any caller or try to spend 5 minutes, taking on any caller. So I want to thank all the callers so far who have contributed and shared their opinion, just as Perry is sharing his opinion. He may not agree with them, but it is what it is. Junior, Perry made mention of wanting to know some of the many things that the government did. And I deliberately didn't go into that direction because I think it will take up too much of time, right? But definitely if he wants me to mention 20, I can. 20 things that the government did that I think is transformative, that benefited great many people. I don't know if Junior would permit me, but I would love to do it.
We won't be able to do the full 20, but you could give us some.
I'll tell you what. Give me 3. Let's make it simple. Give me 3 major things that were done that significantly impacted the Grenadian people that was not done by the previous administration. That's the condition.
Right,
give me 3 things.
So, Junior, as you rightly said, you want about 15, so let me give you 15.
No, we can come on. We can deal with 3.
Or you're not going to have your way because
I want you to understand, I did not attack the caller.
Yeah.
I just clarified some things.
The NNP left when they lost office, 7,815 people using pit latrines in this country. To date, the NDC has given hundreds of people a modern bathroom and toilet facility under the WASH program. They paint it, they put electricity, they put water, they give them their dignity back, their humanity back, thanks to the NDC administration. The NDC administration came into power. We had retired public officers marching in the streets, as Jude rightly said. They were not paid their pension and gratuity. 500 plus pensioners received up to $75.1 million. Yeah, they're Grenadians too. We saw when NDC came into power, the businesses who were affected by COVID-19, they were going under. The NDC gave 500 plus small business owners up to $30,000. Up to $30,000 to either expand, either hire, and that was grant, not a loan. And they assisted them thereafter with a number of training and support and so on. The NDC also introduced free tuition. Thousands of young people are benefiting from the free tuition. TAMCC, $810. New loan, where they can learn a life skill to become a carpenter, a mason, a plumber, an electrician, tailor, cook. We can go on and on. They were able to just be at ease. Their parents don't have to worry. At the end of every year, the government takes care of that. The free meal, hot meal at the schools, 16,000 students benefit from that every single day. This is significant. This is significant. The minimum wage adjustment. The NNP was in power. They never, ever adjusted the minimum wage to fall in line with the rate of inflation. Every 3 years, the law says that you have to adjust it. They never did that. So a security officer who used to work for $4 an hour, now working for $9.25. You have the laborer, the bus driver, the bus conductor, the geriatric caregiver, even the Imani trainees that they always talk about. They got a better salary thanks to the NDC administration. The NDC introduced the bi-monthly salary payments. Workers are happier. They're getting money twice per month at ease. The elderly folks who used to go in line in the hot sun for the poor relief assistance, the NDC increased that, and they also introduced the CAD, the seed card, where they go into the ATM on their own timing and withdraw their money. You look at the Build Back Better houses. Look at the amount of people who have received Build Back Better houses, right? And I can go on and on. That's just some, Perry. On and on and on and on.
You ready for me to respond?
Kem Jones has when you talk about telling you stuff, I could give you stuff until tomorrow.
You ready for me to respond to those?
The doctors got an increase in their salary. The doctors, the nurses, an increase in their salary. Yeah, public officers are being made permanent and regularized, meaning that they have a security of tenure. The new pension scheme was introduced for unestablished workers, 6,000 plus workers. They are now getting a pension. Before, they were going home with no pension because they were unestablished, zero pension. They are now able to get that. So, you can go ahead, my brother. The police, they just got an increase, the pay and grade, $710 more on their salary. Look, Perry, you can go ahead now.
And that is why before you were about to say what you were about to say in terms of all the things that NDC did, that's why I preface it by... But, excuse me?
That's not all, that's some.
Okay. Yeah, but I was saying, that is why before you were about to say it, I said I preface the whole conversation by saying to you that you should say things that was not done by the previous government.
Well, let's go
90%.
Polaris important Karaku.
Hold on. 90% of what you just said there, Kem. 90%. You see, we have to be.
Let's go there.
We can't be disingenuous. 90% of what you just said was done also by the NNP administration.
No.
Okay, you're talking about putting payments on seed card.
No.
That was done since 2021. They will receive the payments on card. What are you talking about?
That's not factual.
Listen to this.
That's a lie.
In 2017, 2018, okay, the amount of kids enrolled in primary school and secondary school exceeded 22,000 students. Okay, unforeseen. And 17,000 of them were getting some sort of assistance.
I said to you that the NDC introduced the seed card, where the elderly folks who normally line up in the hot sun, if you don't know, in front of the revenue office in the different constituencies or different districts, and they go to collect their money every month. In the hot sun there, they would line up the elderly folks. Most of them, they have all kind of conditions. They introduce a card working with the bank, core bank. So they can go and withdraw their money at any time they want without going in the line and having to do all this kind of stuff. So I said that's a good thing. And they
of course it's a good thing.
And they increase the amount of money to $500. That's a good thing.
For inflation and all that sort of stuff. But I'm saying, what you're saying is not unique.
The minimum wage was not adjusted.
What you're saying there is not unique. Because the NNP had programs in place where they were giving uniform allowance, digital uniform allowance. You know about that.
The e-books.
You know about that. 4,000 students were benefiting from the digital uniform allowance. 4,000. Okay, the seed program.
Brother, that's voucher. That's back to school voucher.
Listen, but what I'm saying, many of these programs, Kem, you know one good thing the NDC is good at? You know an excellent thing the NDC is good at? Rebranding, remarketing, calling things by different names and introducing it as if it's something new. And I like the tactic. You know what I'm saying? It's a nice political tactic. But you're not fooling anyone. The NNP had uniform allowances. Okay? As a matter of fact, they had allowances to help you out to do your CXCs. They had a hot meal program in place where they're asking for $1 or $2, and you guys come and you scrap the $1 or $2 and having a problem even providing properly those hot meal lunches. Okay? So all of what you're talking about was in existence. So you come and you say you scrap all the uniform program, you scrap all the book assistance, you scrap all of this, and then you come and you say, okay, well, I'm going to give you free schooling.
I listened to Perry vomit all that nonsense Regurgitation.
No, these are facts. You're saying the 4,000 students that was receiving uniform allowances is a lie? That was a lie?
Perry.
That was a lie?
All the social safety net programs that existed under the NNP, they're continuing under the NDC. I never went into the direction of the social safety net.
Well, okay, you're being honest now.
All of these programs continue.
Oh, you're being honest now. Good.
That is why I mentioned specific things. I could give you a litany.
Well, that's what I said to you. I don't want you to tell me something that the NNP wasn't. I don't want you to tell me something that the NNP was doing. That's why I prefixed it and I said, tell me something that the NDC introduced unique to the NDC administration. Because all what you said is exactly what the NNP was doing. And that's a problem. Everybody thinks that they're smarter than Grenadians. They rebrand things, they remarket things, and they try to introduce it like if it's something new. You're not fooling me.
Perry,
you're not fooling me.
Perry, man, calm down now. You ask a question. The adjusting of the minimum wage was never done under the NNP at no given time.
That's why I say 90%.
Right, so that's one. Hold on. Come on. The pay and grade that was given to the police officers, that was never done under the NNP. The police, they were fighting for that for years, for decades. That was never done under the NNP. Perry, never. So for you to...
So now we get a warmer. So there are two things that the NDC introduced.
The bi-monthly salary was never...
forget that. That's a mess. That's a mess. That is destroying businesses in Grenada. They can't even keep up with that. Come on. Don't even point to that bi-monthly thing.
Hold on.
That's a mess.
Okay, hold on a second. Let's jump to the phone now. We have a caller on the line. Caller, where are you calling us from? On the phone line.
I'm calling from Brooklyn.
Okay, Brooklyn, go ahead. Caller on the WhatsApp. Hold on 1 second. Caller on the phone line. Go ahead.
Good evening to you.
Yes.
And good evening to your guests. I'm not sure why they're having all this yelling, but I want to ask Perry a question.
Right, and Perry, she could hear you and you could hear her. Hold on 1 second, caller. I have her on the phone line so she could hear you, you could hear her.
Perfect.
Caller, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. So
Hi, I want to know, is government a continuum?
Government is always let's put it this way. Government should be a continuum. I totally agree. Should be a continuum.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're going on about the NDC is continuing programs, rebranding the names and whatever, and all of that. But if government is a continuum, that is what governments are supposed to do. If a program is in place and it makes sense, you're supposed to improve on it and keep doing it, not discontinue it because you're not NMP or you're not CCP or whatever. It is about...
I totally agree with you.
Serious.
There's absolutely no disagreement.
Perry, hold on. Let you finish. Caller, go ahead.
All right.
Yeah.
So they're supposed to improve on projects, improve on things that are in place, and if it doesn't make sense, then fix it so that it will work better and it will be better for the people. It's not about who started it or who finished it. It doesn't matter, because if we want to go there, we can go there. The road in the Kumar, Mount Kumar, whatever is the name of that road, right? In Bolio, when you swing into that road, that lovely road, right?
Yeah.
NMP started that road. And the NDC came in and they finished it. And when they finished and they were about to open up the road, who did they give the credit to? Did they not give the credit to NMP? They did. And that I've never heard them shy away from if something started with NMP to say, no, we need to stop that. We need to move away from this bashing and what kind of thing?
I get your point. Okay, so hold on a second. I get your point. I understand what you're saying. And I'm agreeing with you. 1 second. I get your point. I'm agreeing with you. I'm not bashing anyone. And I agree with you about continuum. What I have a problem with, listen carefully what I said I had a problem with, is that it is disingenuous to rename existing programs, okay, continue those programs and try to market them to the Grenadian people as if it's some sort of new program that the NDC introduced. That is the problem I have, the deception. And I totally agree with you. That government is a continuum. We've seen that. We saw that with the Molyneux project. We saw that with the port, the airport project. We saw that you just talked about the Kuma project. We see that with the UK SIF project. Of course, if something is working, why should you change it? But what is deceptive and what is disingenuous is for you to take something that was existing, play you're smarter than everybody else, rebrand it, remarket it, and introduce it as if you started it.
Give us the 2 projects you're talking about.
What 2 projects you're talking about?
2.
We talked about all the seed program. We went through that already.
No.
Only gave me 2. You only gave me 2 things that was indigenous to the NNP. No. 2 things you gave me. Everything else you said existed under the NNP, and that's okay. But don't rebrand them and try to introduce them as if it is indigenous to the NDC. No. We're not falling for that.
1 minute, so I could get off the line. 1 minute. I have another question. In regards to the uniform program, Julia, is he hearing me?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
I am hearing you perfectly.
So in regards to the uniform program, so in 2008, NDC, then government, started a uniform program, right?
Yes.
Well, I can't confirm that, but I know NDC is the one that started the seed program in 2012.
They started a uniform program.
Right.
Well, as I said, you're talking about 2000. I cannot confirm nor deny. But I know in 2012, the NDC is the one that started the seed program.
I'm not talking about the seed program. I'm talking about.
I'm telling you what I know. I'm saying I'm not sure if NDC had a uniform program in 2008. So I can't confirm what you're saying. That's what I'm saying.
Tim, can you confirm?
Yes, you're correct.
Okay.
I know that. Right? And so NDC started that program. That wasn't started by NNP. What NNP did was change the location of children being able to get the uniforms. They changed that and they brought it to the Prime Minister's office.
Yeah.
Right? That's what I know for sure.
Right. They didn't change the name though, right? They digitized it, but they didn't change the name and try to say, oh, well, guess what? This is a new program that NNP introduced. They didn't do that, right? And I'm not here. I don't want you guys getting this twisted. I'm not here to defend what the NNP did or what the NNP didn't do. My party is the GSDP, the Grenada Social Democrat Party. So I'm not here to defend what NNP did. Let NNP defend what they did.
Hold on. Let the caller finish. Caller, go ahead.
Listen, I think the 2 gentlemen on the live could do a little better. Instead of yelling and screaming, we have people listening from all over the world, and we are a lot smarter than before. A lot of us, right? We've gone to school, we've gotten degrees, and if we want to share information, it's easy to pull up stats. We can pull it up while we talk and converse instead of we're majoring in minor right now, as far as I'm concerned, and I'm listening. And I'm like, wow. That's why I picked up my phone and called, because I can't understand why does it matter? Why does it matter?
Right.
Well, I said why it matters, ma'am. I said if you're trying to deceive and score political points, it does matter.
Let me finish our call and then
we updated the project, or we updated that process and everything. And we realized, okay, we've done this, we've done that. So we've taken some of that and some of this to make it better. Why can't I rename it?
Right. Okay.
Yeah, that's all.
Well, I'll tell you why. There's a motive behind renaming it.
Okay.
And the motive is to try to reintroduce it as if it emanated from the NDC. So that is in some respects deception, okay, to score political points. And I think people are just, tired of the deception. People will take you more serious, okay, if you're genuine and honest about what you're doing. We say, okay, all right, there was an existing program, fine. The NDC came, they built on because look, NDC came, they built and they upped the seed program. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
But it's still a seed program.
But exactly, that one, you kept exactly my point. So nobody even tried to deceive in that program. But then you come and you dismantle a bunch of whole other programs, or you try to play games with them. The
programs.
The tuition. I'm telling you, the tuition. You come, you dismantle all the uniform allowance, the book allowance, the help with them doing exams, CXC exams and stuff like that. You dismantle all of that. And then you come and you say you're giving free education. What did you really do?
Right.
It's like you're playing games with people's minds. Right. And so people like us who understand what is going on, we're going to see through it. So then people think that you're disingenuous. They start having a problem trusting your intentions.
Okay.
Right. So Junior,
go ahead.
These programs, they're all false because all of these programs, they are still in place. They did not dismantle it. And in fact, the free textbook program was introduced by the NDC and it was watered down by the NNP. And we can go even further. They removed the private schools from receiving textbooks, the NNP. It was not a child is a child. All right. Never you forget that. So the program was watered down because they were not replacing the books. They were not buying and replenishing and that kind of thing. But all of these social safety net programs are in place. They were not changed. Yeah. The free meal program was rebranded, and that's a fact. They are serving healthier meals. I think the name changed. They're serving healthier meals, and they no longer charge $1 for the primary schools or $3 for the secondary schools. So it's free for all. No child should be prevented from accessing education because they can't get something hot to put on their stomach, which is a very good idea. The rebranding, the changing, that's fantastic. The housing, the WASH program, the WASH just before the election, maybe about 5 or 6 months before the last election, the NNP did a number of bathrooms, right?
Oh,
and in fact,
you're honest. Okay.
In fact, they were not completed. To say that painting was done, electrical work was done, tiling was done, having a nice little cupboard and so on. It was not at the standard of what the NDC is doing with the WASH program. The NDC is giving you a bathroom or a bathroom and toilet facility that anybody could use, not undone, not unfinished. So it was a kind of rushed thing. But this one is more organized, right? Good. And we have to be real. If you see the bathroom and toilet that the NDC is doing under this WASH program, you have to be proud of the NDC because the NNP left 7,815 or so people using the pit latrines, and the NDC embarked upon that project to get rid of these pit latrines, right? Look, it's a good thing. It's a good thing.
Yeah, of course, that's always a good thing to
branding is not bad. Sometimes making some adjustments, it's not bad. Once it's to enhance it. Once it is to make it better. But there are great many projects that the NDC introduced, and we all look. I say to people, something as simple as the solar light project, lighting Grenada up. This may be seen as trivial or small, but you have seen over 1,000 solar lights go up in communities that were dark, and people are proud, people are happy. You go to Grandin's Beach during the nighttime, it's no longer dark. There are solar lights. You go to the Hope Beach, it's no longer dark, and they put bathroom facility there. You don't have to go urinate number 1 and number 2 in the bushes. Same thing in a place as Mont Rouge, a main plain area. The NDC just put a bathroom and toilet there. It did not exist. The lighting of the Progress Park in St. Andrew. That's a big thing for the community with a playing area placed there, right? You look at the basketball courts and netball courts that they're upgrading and lighting and bringing back community life. The playing fields that they're lighting up, they're bringing back life in the community. This is significant. Anyhow you look at it, you look at the tissue culture lab that they built in Maribou, you know, and we can go on and on. The resuscitation of the coconut plant. You have coconut. This is a big thing. The breeding program. We can go on and on and on and on.
So these things are unique to NDC, you're saying?
No, I'm saying this is good. The NDC.
Yeah, I agree with you. They're all good. Of course.
Did this. And
it's a continuum in government. You know, it's nothing, you know, it's what a government is supposed to do. Those things you're talking about is what a government is supposed to do.
So why the ANP didn't do it?
Well, of course they did it. Are you saying to me, this is the first time we have solar lights in Grenada? Is that what you're saying?
Okay, let's go to the phone. Let's go to the phone.
Is that what you're saying? We know the issue. You're talking about solar lights. We know the issues they're having with the solar lights in the park. So that's a whole different issue.
Hello, Junior. Good night.
Oh, I have a caller on the, okay, call on the WhatsApp. Hold on, I had somebody on the phone line. Call on the phone line, go right ahead. Call on the WhatsApp, I'll come to you.
Hello, Junior.
Yes.
Hello, Junior. Good night, and good night to your platform.
Good night, caller. Where are you calling us from?
Okay, so I'm calling from Grenada. I'm listening to the program, and it's a good program, but Junior, I think that you should take control of the program. This gentleman, Terry, he's very disrespectful. He's angry. He has a lot of anger, and I'm an old school. And my grandparents taught me when someone is speaking, let the person finish speak, and then you will speak. Every time Kem tries to speak, he just cuts across. That is so disrespectful. So I think that, Mr. Perry, I think you should grow some maturity, and I think you should have some respect, and I think you should not come out in this anger rage. You all having a discussion, do better, please, because the world is listening. Thank you, Junior. And Junior, please give Kem his chance to speak.
Yeah.
Do not let Mr. Perry cut across you like that. That is total disrespect.
Everyone getting a chance to speak. Thank you so much, caller.
Absolutely. Well, Kem, I sit there and I just listen attentively to Kem. What is this woman talking about? I sit there, I listen attentively to Kem,
we don't have to,
and then I talk.
Right. We have a call on the WhatsApp. Call on the WhatsApp. You've been holding for a long time. Go ahead. Sorry about that. Call on the WhatsApp. Go right ahead.
Oh, yes. Calling from Toronto.
Toronto, go right ahead.
Yeah. You know,
Toronto.
Hold on.
Coming for me.
Hold on.
Toronto is coming for me.
Toronto, go ahead.
Yeah, I wouldn't be saying much.
Okay.
Because, you know, Junior, sometimes you say, I wouldn't be disrespectful either because I'm not that person. But sometimes you say, don't be disrespectful. But this gentleman, Terry, whatever his name is,
it's Perry.
He is blatantly disrespectful to callers. Now, what he is realizing, he's putting himself on these shows. There is a saying, if you don't like the heat, stay out of the kitchen.
I'm taking the heat.
Persons basically said what I would echo here. I said it the last time you guys were on. He has that, I wouldn't even say tendency. He has that bold attitude. When he speaks as though he's educating you. And he knows it all in everything because I said it the last time. Now, today again, it's the same thing. Whether it is Cam on the show or a caller calls in, he has to overpower that person. The gentleman was right. This lady is right. Maybe he should take a review, look back at the program. Because to be very honest, you're trying to be this professor of everything. If you take it in the context in which I'm saying. And you would realize how foolish it looks. Because every time someone speaks, you get over them. You would say, give the points. And you want to give yours. And then you never have anything to prove what you're saying. Because I just heard you saying that all these programs that was there, it was the NNP and all these things. And they'll take credit. Go back and take a look.
Facts.
Even go back to the media. If it's one thing you can give the NDC, I don't know what part of Mars you're living on, because Pearls, the opening of the school, the opening of the school, who did they bring? Kate Lewis to say that project started by them. The bridge in St. John's or St. Mark's or wherever, who did they bring? Clarice Modeste. Even the opening of those things, they've always done that. I've seen Ron Redhead so many times say this was started by the NMP. And you're saying, oh, they changed the name and they this and that. When people get into politics and a new party comes in, they usually change names of certain projects, but they give the credit to where it was started. Okay? It is not who started the race, it's who finished it. It's who finishes it. So you have to stop this thing, because when you speak, I told you that the last time, you're very venomous and you're very, as the woman said, you always look angry and raged and everything. You cannot be a narcissist. You have to stop and listen to people. Kem is speaking, you get over it. The last time you did it so badly, it upset many people when we speak with it.
Okay.
If he asks you something, then you say, oh, let's get to another point. Anytime he points us and they say, or Junior says, give us facts. Oh, let's speak about something else. You never conclude what you're saying, because what you're saying, Mr. whatever your name is,
his name is Perry.
You're really not making sense. You're really not making sense. And you need to stop that. Junior is a nice man, because I wouldn't say why I'm saying that. And as the lady said, from Grenada, the Junior needs to take more control. But usually he's in control of his program. But every time you are there, you try to speak over people and to cut them off, whether it's a caller or not. You don't speak for all of Grenada.
Okay, thank you.
Because we all live in the diaspora. So let the people in Grenada have more to say, because they live there. And for you to sit down and say that this government basically is not doing anything, you are a very wicked man.
All right. Thank you, caller. Thank you so much. Guys, you're watching Right Along Live. Let me just take down the phone call for a little bit. Let me say this, guys. I believe in hearing all the different voices, right? I believe in hearing all the different sides. So as much as some of you guys may not agree with Perry's position, I believe that he has points that he feels and he believes strongly in. That's why I bring him on the program. I'm watching the comments. Don't bring back Perry. But we can't have a debate if we don't have that difference of opinion. Now, just like if you hold a 9 and somebody's sitting on the left of the 9 and somebody's sitting on the right of the 9, you might argue that this is a 9, but the other person might say it's a 6. You can't tell a person that seems as a 6 that is not a 6. So we need debate where we are talking to each other. It might be from a different perspective, but we all learn. We can't have one way. We have to have all the voices in. And that's why I like to have the contrast where Kem is coming in, Kem is saying his piece, Perry or Michael Batiste or whoever in opposing voice might come on. I allow it because I want to hear both sides of the argument. As we say on Right Along Live, everyone has a story to tell. All right? And that's my point of view on this. Kem, anything?
No, I want to applaud the callers for sharing their opinion. I think that is what talk shows are all about, giving the callers, the opportunity to vent, to speak. And it is what it is. I do apologize to the listeners, the callers, if they believe that we are, kind of back and forth or talking over each other. That was never my intention. I don't think it's Perry's intention. But I hope that, in our discussions, we can at least learn something, or you can learn something. But I say we because I'm here to learn too, learn something from the conversation in moving forward. And I'm really pleased to see how the Most Honorable Deacon Mitchell is governing. I want to add here, because the caller mentioned the diaspora. the amount of flights. The amount of flights that we have now, that we never had before, connecting the diaspora to Grenada. People are able to come in and out. We have so many flights that people are traveling freely in and out of Grenada. So that's a plus. That's what it is.
Okay, thank you. We have a call on the line. Let's take this call. We have so much calls, a lot of mercy. The phone lines are blowing up, and I know.
Well, that's a good thing, Junior. I see like I've motivated a lot of people to call. I've never seen so many people call. And they think I'm a bad guy. I'm a good guy for this show.
That's not true. The people let's call. All right. Call on the phone line. Go right ahead.
Hello. Good evening, Junior.
Good evening. How are you doing? Where are you calling us from?
I'm good. I'm calling from Canada.
Yeah, Canada. Go right ahead.
Yes. I just want to say I understand clearly what you're saying. However, yes, we're going to have. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here. We're listening.
Yes, we are going to have people misunderstanding, but I just think the attitude in both of them, should just simmer a bit, because we are there to learn. People want to know more, right? But I just think in the way they are doing it, that is why it is so bad. Yeah, it's so bad. So my thing is that they should tone down a bit, discuss. Agree, disagree, but at the same time, let us tone it down so persons can understand. It's not a confusion, but we are trying to, learn and understand what's happening.
Right. Point taken, dear caller. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Right. We are way past due for a quick commercial break. Let's do that, and we'll be right back. You're watching Ride Along Live.
Need a taxi? Download RideGo from the App Store. Tap the app.
Yeah, 99999. What boy? Yeah, what boy? What boy? The sun is hot, the breeze is slow. I need a ride. Where do I go? Ride go, yeah. That's the name. Island roads will never feel the same. Tap the app, just one click. Hopping fast, it's real quick. Ride go, where do you wanna go? To the beach, to the street, let the island flow. Ride go, the good vibe show, fastest growing ride, everybody know. Ride go, where do you wanna go? To the beach, to the street, let the island flow. Ride go, let the good vibe show, fastest growing ride, everybody know.
Where do you want to go?
Don't forget, guys, RideGo is available all across Grenada, no matter where you're from. You need that app. Download the RideGo app into your phone, and whenever you need a taxi, just tap the app. A car is 5 minutes away all the time. If you live in the diaspora, you could send a taxi to your mother, your father, your brother, your sister. Yeah, they go straight to your house and take them wherever they want to go. Download the RideGo app. It's kind of like Uber for those of you who use it. It's kind of like Uber, but better. All right, download the RideGo, quick and easy in the app store. It takes about 2 minutes to set up an account, and you have access to over 250 cars throughout Grenada, Carriacou. All right, Petit Martinique, we have a RideGo for you as well. Huh? So download the RideGo, guys. It's available right now. Again, so we're back, and I believe we have a caller. So we're going to take this caller, and then we will go for some sort of closing remark because we are way past that time. Caller, you live? Where are you calling us from? Hold on, let me turn up your volume. Yes, caller, go right ahead.
Yes. Yeah, my name is Oliver Williams. I'm better known as Fletcher. Perry, you know me well. I think I grew up around you. I'm from the Lane.
Okay.
And
what did you say your name was? Oliver Williams?
And this came, I don't know him too much, but I always listen to the program. And there's a few callers that call in and they know nothing about, I don't understand why they call in and saying that Perry living out of Grenada, he knows nothing about Grenada. We grew up in Grenada under all the hardest shift of the revolution. I didn't get that much of Gary, but under the revolution, under the NNP, and under the NLC. So, and Perry is one of those men that grew up under that. And I'm not talking about, I'm just talking that Perry go to the revolution as a little boy. His cousin, my cousin, we go to. And I mean, right along, he used to come to Grenville all the time, hang out. You go to SAS, I know, and they call him with a lot of anger in them because Perry is speaking of the truth. And Ken Jones, you speak properly too. And I think they should be calling to like improve on what's happening in Grenada and say something that they're calling to disrespect and, this is what I'm calling about. But the program is a very good program. It's not a shouting program because anyway there is argument and there is this one would want to win a point, this one one point, the voice going to raise. Something going to go higher, something going to go lower. That's all I have to say. For long,
thank you, sir.
Keep the program going. And Perry is Papa God, man. Oliver, man. You know me, man.
Yeah, of course, man.
Thank you. All right, you see, very heavy supporters, very heavy people.
Well, no, I mean, the thing about it, and listen, one of the ladies says that she's old school, and I'm also old school. And the thing about it is that you got to come correct. Even if you're calling as a guest, I mean, you can't try to disrespect the people who are on the show. I mean, I don't go for that. Like this gentleman from Toronto, every time he calls in, he acts like he's a psychiatrist or something. I mean, I hope he's a psychiatrist because he's always diagnosing. You see what I'm saying? And I think a little tension here and there. I love Kem to death, so y'all don't get it twisted. There's no big animosity between Kem and I, okay? So don't get it twisted. But if you look at other shows, there's always a little abrasiveness here and there, and I think it's a healthy discussion. I think we're relatively civil. What do you think about it compared to other political shows?
Well, this is not a political show. This is a discussion. I don't want
discussion. Discussion.
Kev says, what says you?
No, well, I have nothing much to say. Again, I'm happy to be here, and I hope the viewers and listeners will learn a thing or two. I wish Perry all the best, and I am happy that Grenada is moving forward.
Yeah, and of course for the fishers, we have to big up the now that the fisher folks have so much access. The U.S. market is back and much more access to the other parts, as we said, Guyana, China, and other parts of the world. So, I mean, it makes me feel like I want to go and fish too. Should be out in the ocean. But thank you, Kem Jones, and of course, Perry. Perry, closing words. We got to make it brief because then.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Got you. Yeah.
All right.
Well, I don't want people to get this twisted. I am not here to defend NNP's position. Okay. They'll have to do that for themselves. Okay, I'm not some sort of some sort of mouthpiece for NNP. They'll have to defend what they did. My problem is I just want to make sure, okay, that just as much heat that the NDC gave to NNP, now that NDC has the iron in their hand, they have to expect that they themselves, they can't come across as unassailable. You can't say nothing about PM Deacon Mitchell when you could have said tons about Keith Mitchell. It doesn't work like that. And I want them to understand that there are many things that you probably don't realize that I have done for NDC from the inception of this party, okay? I keep telling you guys, the UK SIF project, I was also instrumental in getting that money and saving some of that money. And again, I gave you guys some free advice on closure. And Mr. Bob implemented everything I said. A matter of fact, the way I see it, the NDC owes me a check. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
And you can also check us out on you can check out my website on YouTube if you want some good content. Hanovi Global Network. Check me out. And of course, just in closing, I want to say that we have a guy of the GSDP, the Grenada Social Democratic Party in St. George Northeast, Mr. Nicholas Macmillan. He's hitting St. George Northeast like a storm. Okay, and this Saturday, we're going to do the same cook up and chat. We had one in Montparnasse, but look out, another one is coming this Saturday. Junior, thank you so much. It's always a pleasure to come here and discuss with you guys. Kem Jones, we're buddies. Love you. And you're doing a great job. I hope NDC is taking care of you properly.
Yes. Thank you. Kem, anything?
Oh, boy.
You're what you wait and gold, Kem.
Oh, listen to this. I want to invite Kim. Kim, you know we started the ATV thing.
Right.
ATV tour. Not like a bicycle. I don't know if you could ride a bicycle. I've never seen you on ride bike, but this ATV thing, Kim, is you. So Sunday is Ride Sundays. And I want you to take somebody along with you and let's go ATV riding this Sunday. Wow. Right? Wow. And Perry, whenever you touch greens again, I know you did the bicycle on the water the last time. Appreciate that. Is amazing. In fact, guys, when I was speaking with Kim at 6 o'clock and I get kind of contradicted with the time, I was actually on an ATV tour. We just came from Point Celine. It's just such an amazing tour. So I'm inviting you, Kim, on our next ride, which is, well, we have a ride every day. But Kim, this Sunday, make some time. And let's go on some.
I want to tell them, Junior, just a little bit. I want to tell them that Junior is such a gentleman. I came down with my family over the holidays, and I said, Junior, I love the big bike on the sea. I want to do that with the kids. And he said to me, I said, well, how much it costs? He said, oh, no, come on. I'm going to give you a blah. You do it for free. He made sure his guy was there, took care of me. That was awesome. This gentleman, I appreciate that. Thank you so much, Junior.
Look out for my people. Kim.
And I recommend that people try it. You'll never regret.
All right, so Kim, Sunday we on, right?
Not confirming as yet.
Okay, all right. So confirm when you can. All right, thank you guys. Again, guys, ATV Tour, you can check out the ride.gd. That's RYDE.gd for our brand new ATV tour. It's every day, but Sundays is Ride Sundays.
on Playway, $20 backup on Pick 3, and cash for each, please.
Okay, are you adding multi-X to your bet?
Yes, multi-X, all of them.
Smart! Best value bet. Backup and multi-X, you cannot go wrong.
Don't matter the bet, multi-X all of the daily games.
With multi-X added, your winnings can be multiplied 3 times, 5 times, even 7 times. So make it a rule. Add multi-X to all your Playway, daily Pick 3, and daily cash for bets every day and for every drop, and watch your money grow. Available at stores and online.
You heard it here. Multiply your winnings daily. Must be 18 or older to play. NLA, making your dreams come true.
There's a new way to move in Grenada. Ride Go. Ride Go is here. Ride Go. Where do you want to go?
Again, guys, if you're looking for a taxi service, 24 hours taxi service, coming to Grenada, and you need a pickup, like you can't bother your family members every time, sort of drive from Guav to pick you up at the airport. Yeah, man, your taxi's outside waiting. Download Ride Go right now from the App Store. That's RYDEGO. Ride Go. Yeah, Ride Go. Where do you want to go?
Need a taxi? Download Ride Go from the App Store. Tap the app.
Also, guys, I got to big up the folks at Spot Pay. Now, Spot Pay is this amazing app that allows you to send money between family and friends. It's very, very simple and efficient. Yeah, it's like Zelle. It's like Cash App, but here in Grenada. So family members could transfer money from you if they live in the United States. They don't have to go through the process of Western Union and all that stuff. Just Spot Pay. Just say, Spot Pay me. Yeah, you meet somebody and you owe them some money, you gotta run to the bank, just Spot Pay them. And then when you have your Spot Pay card, your Spot Pay app, you could withdraw the money straight from the ATM. And it's amazing. Download Spot Pay from the App Store. SPOTPAY. It is really amazing. Spot Pay. Check it out. Yeah, just like that. Spot Pay. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being a part of our program, guys. We really appreciate you. Now, listen, guys. Ride Along Live has always built this platform on everyone having a story to tell, right? We don't only, and we never did, aim to set up a platform that you only hear one voice. As I said earlier, it's important that you hear both perspectives. And as much as you guys, a lot of people say, oh, they don't like the engagements, but it's what you like to watch. I mean, it's what you comment about. It's what you. A lot of people inbox me and they say they want to learn more. But sometimes you learn when you have that interaction, respectful interaction. I mean, everyone has a story to tell, and we're going to continue to push the envelope and bring on guests that may have their perspective. That might be different from your perspective, but it gives you an opportunity to call in and push the agenda and ask questions, right? Interrogate them. So that's why we have this kind of programs. And you guys know that, what if you guys say you don't watch it? You watch the whole program anyway, right? Right? Thanks for watching. Thanks for being a part of our program, guys. Also, if you have a business and you want to advertise on Ride Along Live, this is the program to advertise on. We reach over 12 million viewers per month. It's a lot of people, boy. A lot of people all over the world. UK, United States, Canada, England, the entire Caribbean region, everybody in Grenada. Advertise your business on Ride Along Live and send your business viral. To advertise, you call 718-701-5720 or just email us, ridealongtv@gmail.com. Whether you're a small business or a big enterprise, advertise your business on Ride Along Live. We have a package specifically for you. Good night, guys. Good night, and see you guys again tomorrow. Yeah, what's pissing me off is tomorrow. We got a lot to talk about. A lot of things pissing me off. See you tomorrow, guys.